Welcome to the deep dive. We're diving into the world of libraries today.
Oh, libraries. I love
Me
libraries.
too.
Ugh.
Got a ton of research here, articles and all that. Should be a fascinating journey.
It really should be. Libraries have been around, what, for centuries?
Centuries, yeah. Holding the keys to knowledge.
I know. It's amazing to think about.
From scrolls in ancient Egypt all the way to being able to search millions of books online.
It's incredible the journey we're about to go on.
Buckle up, everybody. Let's start with a place everyone's heard of, the Library of Alexandria.
Oh, yeah, the Library of Alexandria.
Try to imagine, collecting all the world's knowledge back then.
Mind-blowing.
What were some of the things about its impact on knowledge that we might not know?
Well, it actually went beyond just collecting scrolls.
Okay.
They fostered a culture of collaboration.
Really?
Big time. You have to think about all these scholars
Yeah.
from all over the ancient world, different backgrounds, different specialties,
Wow.
all coming together in one place, debating, sharing findings.
Fascinating.
There's evidence that medical knowledge jumped forward because doctors could access anatomical studies from all these different cultures.
So they could compare notes, essentially.
Exactly. They could refine their understanding of the human body because they had all this different information coming in.
So it wasn't just a library, it was like a massive ancient research conference.
That's a great way to put it. It makes you think, what knowledge are we at risk of losing today?
That's a good point.
I mean, think about all this digital information we have. Server failures, that's a risk. Languages disappearing.
Oh, that's true.
Oral traditions vanishing. It's a lot to think about.
It really is. Makes you think about what we should be focusing on when it comes to preserving things.
Right. What's important to say for the future?
Definitely. All right, let's move on from the ancient world to the Middle Ages.
The Middle Ages.
Monks, castles.
Castles, yes.
And wait, monks copying texts by hand? Those guys were the heroes of knowledge preservation.
It might seem surprising, but yes. During the Dark Ages, as it's often called, medieval monasteries became like centers for saving classical knowledge.
I always think of monks copying the Bible.
Of course, that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
But they preserve so much more than just that. A wider range of texts than people realize.
Like what kinds of works?
Oh, you name it. Ancient Greek and Roman philosophers,
Okay.
playwrights, mathematicians, they copied everything they could get their hands on.
So that knowledge could be rediscovered later on.
Exactly. During the Renaissance, for example.
Oh, I see.
Imagine if those texts had been lost. The Renaissance might have looked totally different.
Wow. It's like a relay race through history.
I like that.
Passing the baton of knowledge. Okay, let's talk printing press. How did that change everything?
Oh, the printing press was huge. A total game changer.
Was it really?
Think about it. Going from painstakingly copying by hand
Right.
to being able to make hundreds of copies super fast.
Wow.
And it had a massive ripple effect. Books became more affordable.
So more people could get them.
Exactly. Literacy rates shot up. New ideas could spread like wildfire.
So Gutenberg's printing press was the social media of its day.
Uh-huh. Yeah. New ideas going viral. And speaking of embracing new tech, let's talk about the Bodleian Library.
The Bodleian Library.
At Oxford.
Okay, that's in England, right? What made it so special?
Well, the Bodleian, founded in 1602, they got it.
Got what?
The potential of the printing press. They were one of the first to really see it.
I see.
They built up this huge collection,
Wow.
acquired books on a scale that had never been seen before.
So it wasn't just a library, it was like this center of knowledge.
Absolutely. A hub for scholars. And with the printing press, they could keep up with all the new knowledge being created.
Which led to?
The Enlightenment. Think about it. Thinkers like John Locke, Isaac Newton, their ideas, they spread through printed books.
Right.
And places like the Bodleian made those books available to the people who were shaping the world.
So information wasn't just for a select few anymore.
Exactly. Libraries were at the heart of these big shifts in history. And they didn't stop there.
Always adapting with the times.
You got it. Let's move on to the modern era. Libraries have changed so much.
I was just at the New York Public Library the other day, and it was buzzing. Lectures, kids programs, art.
Oh, I love the New York Public Library.
It's so much more than just books.
It's true. Modern libraries are becoming community hubs.
Like community centers.
Exactly. They offer all sorts of resources, not just books, workshops, spaces for groups to meet, technology access. It's incredible.
And then there's the whole digital archive thing.
Oh, yeah.
Project Gutenberg, Google Books. Anyone with internet can browse millions of books online. Do you think those will replace physical libraries?
That's a big question.
It is, isn't it?
Digital archives are changing things, for sure.
How so?
Well, Imagine a scholar in, say, a remote village in Africa,
Okay.
being able to access research papers from a library in London. That was impossible not that long ago.
Makes information more accessible.
It really does. But there are challenges, too.
Like what?
Digital preservation. What happens when file formats become obsolete? How do we prevent information loss from server crashes or cyber attacks?
So it's not just about digitizing everything.
It's about keeping that information accessible for the long term.
That sounds like a huge job.
It is. But libraries have always been about more than just storing information. It's about empowering people.
Right.
Let's talk about the social impact of libraries. Let's start with Andrew Carnegie.
Ah, Carnegie. Wasn't he obsessed with building libraries?
He was, and for good reason.
Why?
He believed libraries were essential for social progress.
Interesting.
He put his money where his mouth was, built public libraries all over the world,
So he was a philanthropist?
big time. He believed that giving everyone access to knowledge was the key to individual empowerment.
And social mobility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He saw libraries as a way to level the playing field, give everyone a chance to learn and improve their lives.
And his vision is still around today.
Oh, absolutely.
So many public libraries were built with his funding.
It's true. And his vision goes beyond the buildings themselves.
In what way?
It's about the idea of libraries as spaces for social change. Think about the civil rights movement.
Oh.
Libraries played a crucial role. People could access information about their rights, organize meetings, strategize.
They were safe havens.
Exactly. And this connection between libraries and social change, it continues today, just in new ways.
Like what?
Well, look at the digital divide. Many libraries are actively working to bridge that gap. Free computer access, internet, digital literacy training.
Making sure everyone can participate in the digital world.
Exactly. It's another example of how libraries adapt to meet the needs of their communities.
That's so cool. So what's next on our library adventure?
We've looked at the past and present. Now let's step into the future.
Ooh, the future.
The cutting-edge technologies that are changing how we experience and interact with information.
You're talking AI, virtual reality, right? I'm picturing myself taking a VR tour of the Library of Alexandria.
Get ready for a trip to the library of the future. Picture this. You walk into a library, and there's a personalized AI assistant.
Like a robot librarian?
Kind of. It guides you to exactly the info you need, even if you don't know what you're looking for.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But how realistic is all this AI and VR stuff in libraries? I mean, is that really happening?
It's closer than you think. Libraries are already using AI for things like recommending books and cataloging.
Oh, okay.
And get this, there are AI research tools that can analyze tons of data.
Really?
Yeah, to help scholars find hidden connections and insights.
So AI isn't replacing librarians, it's giving them superpowers.
Exactly. And for VR, some libraries are already using it for virtual tours and educational experiences.
Like what kind of educational experiences?
Imagine students going on a VR field trip to the Amazon or exploring the human body.
Whoa.
The possibilities are pretty crazy.
Okay, I'm getting excited about the future of libraries now.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned blockchain earlier. How does that fit in?
Blockchain is all about security and transparency, tracking and verifying information.
I know what blockchain is, but...
So in libraries, it could be used to create a digital ledger for rare books and manuscripts
Oh, okay.
to track their history and make sure they're authentic.
So no more forged first editions.
Right. It's like a digital fingerprint for valuable objects.
I like that analogy. Speaking of libraries with amazing treasures, we have to talk about the Library of Congress.
Ah, the Library of Congress.
It's the ultimate library, right?
It's definitely a national treasure. It's the biggest library in the world.
I know, I've seen pictures. It looks like something out of a movie.
It's truly amazing. The collection is so diverse. Books, music scores, maps, photographs, films, you name it.
What are some of your favorite things in the collection? What makes it so special?
One thing that always stands out is Thomas Jefferson's personal library.
No way.
Yeah, after the original Library of Congress burned down, Jefferson offered his own collection to help rebuild it.
So the Library of Congress has this personal tie to American history.
Exactly. It's not just a collection of stuff. It reflects how American thought and culture have evolved.
That's pretty cool. And it's still evolving today, right?
Absolutely. The Library of Congress is always adding new things that reflect modern American life.
Like what?
Digital content, social media posts, even video games.
Wow. They're trying to capture everything.
They want future generations to see the whole picture of American life.
It's like building a time capsule.
Yeah.
But with all this collecting and preserving, do people actually use the Library of Congress for research?
Oh, yeah, the huge research center. Scholars come from all over the world to use it.
I bet it's amazing to have access to all that knowledge.
They have reading rooms for different subjects and experts on staff who can help you find what you need.
That's so cool. But most people probably can't just pop over to the Library of Congress whenever they want.
True, but that's where the digital world comes in.
Okay.
The Library of Congress has been digitizing its collection like crazy. Millions of items are available online for free.
So anyone with internet can browse through historical documents and stuff.
Exactly. You can see photos, maps, listen to old recordings of American music. It's incredible.
So you can basically bring the Library of Congress into your living room.
Pretty much.
Oh.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about something I'm passionate about: literacy.
Oh, yeah. Libraries and reading go hand in hand.
For sure. Libraries are essential for getting people to love reading, especially kids.
I love that libraries do story time for little kids.
Me too. It's often their first experience with the magic of stories. It can spark a lifelong passion for reading.
It's true. I remember going to the library with my mom when I was little. It felt like this magical place. I couldn't wait to get my hands on a new book. But libraries aren't just for kids, right?
Of course not. They have things for all ages.
Yeah.
Book clubs, author talks, writing workshops.
So they're like hubs for book lovers.
Exactly. And they're really important for supporting education too.
Yeah, like students using the library to do research.
Exactly. And lots of libraries have programs for adults who are learning to read or learning English.
So they're making literacy accessible to everyone.
That's the goal. It's amazing how libraries are always changing to meet the needs of their communities.
But we often think of those big, impressive libraries like the Library of Congress or the New York Public Library. What about the smaller local libraries?
Those local libraries are so important.
They are.
They're the heart of their communities. They provide a safe and welcoming space for people to connect, learn, and access resources.
My local library was like a second home growing up.
I hear you. The librarians knew my name too. They always had great recommendations, and they helped me with school projects.
It's that personal touch that makes local libraries so special.
It really is. They're more than just buildings with books. They're places where people feel supported.
And they often go above and beyond to help people. I've heard of libraries delivering books to people who can't leave their homes.
I've heard that too. And organizing coding classes for kids, and even starting community gardens.
It's amazing how much they do. But I know a lot of libraries are struggling with funding these days. How are they managing?
It's tough, but libraries are resilient. They're finding creative ways to do more with less.
Like what?
They're partnering with local organizations and looking for grants and donations.
So they're becoming fundraising experts.
They have to be. And they're using technology to find new ways to serve people.
Like online resources and ebooks.
Exactly. And they're using social media to connect with people and promote their programs.
So they're staying relevant in the digital age.
For sure. It's inspiring to see how they adapt and thrive. They're proving that libraries are more important than ever.
We've talked a lot about libraries, but what about the people who write the books, the authors?
Libraries and authors need each other.
How so?
Libraries give authors a platform to share their work with more people.
And authors give libraries more books to share.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
And libraries are becoming places where authors can meet their readers face-to-face.
Through book signings and things like that.
Exactly. They're creating these vibrant literary communities.
I love that. And it's not just about famous authors, right?
Nope. Libraries are supporting new writers too, especially in this age of self-publishing.
So they're helping diversify the literary world.
Exactly. They're giving a voice to new perspectives. It's really cool.
As we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's important to remember why libraries matter so much.
They're not just about books. They're essential to our communities and our democracy.
They're sanctuaries of knowledge spaces for learning and growth, and they help us connect with each other.
They remind us of the power of stories, the importance of always learning, and the human need to understand the world around us.
And in today's world, with all its challenges, libraries are more important than ever.
I agree. They'll keep guiding us toward a better future where everyone can access information and the love of learning is nurtured.
That's beautiful. You know, we've covered so much, but there's one more thing we need to explore: the role of libraries as guardians of freedom and equality.
Perfect. Let's take a quick break and then we'll dive into how libraries empower people and promote a more just and equitable world.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on this amazing journey through the world of libraries.
From ancient times to the future.
Exactly. But now, let's zoom in on something super important. Libraries as protectors of freedom and equality.
That's a great way to put it.
What do you think about that?
Well, libraries have always been about making knowledge available to everyone.
Right.
It's like when you give people free access to information,
Yeah.
you break down so many barriers. class, wealth, even geography.
It empowers people.
It really does.
Yeah.
It helps create a more level playing field.
It's like that saying, knowledge is power.
Exactly. But it's not just about the books themselves.
What else is it about?
It's about creating a space where everyone feels comfortable learning and exploring.
A welcoming space.
Yes. Think about it. You don't have to buy anything to be in a library.
That's true.
You just walk in and you have access to a world of information.
It's a powerful statement.
It is. It says that everyone deserves equal access to knowledge, no matter who you are or where you come from.
And that reminds me of something I read about libraries during the civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
They were more than just places to read. They were centers for activism
That's right.
and community organizing.
Libraries provided a safe space
For what?
for people to learn about their rights, to meet, to strategize, to find support.
They were vital to the movement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this role continues today, even though the issues might be different.
Like what kinds of issues?
We'll look at the digital divide.
Okay, yeah.
Libraries are on the front lines of tackling that,
How so?
offering programs to help people learn digital skills, using computers, the internet, all of that.
So they're making sure everyone can keep up with technology.
Exactly. They offer free computer classes, internet access, even help with things like creating a resume
Wow.
or applying for jobs online.
That's incredible. They're making sure no one gets left behind.
That's the idea.
It's really inspiring to see how libraries are always changing and adapting.
I agree.
They're not just about preserving the past. They're helping to shape a better future.
A more equitable future. And let's not forget another important role they play,
What's that?
promoting critical thinking,
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
especially in this day and age. With so much information out there, it's hard to know what to believe.
Fake news everywhere.
Exactly. Libraries give people the tools and resources to evaluate information.
To figure out what's true and what's not.
Right. To discern fact from fiction and to form their own opinions.
So it's not just about having access to information.
It's about knowing how to think critically about it.
That's so important.
It really is. It's what makes us informed citizens.
Yeah.
It allows us to have thoughtful debates, and it helps us build a stronger democracy.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes.
To what?
To everything libraries do. It's more than I ever realized.
They truly are amazing places.
Guardians of knowledge.
Champions of equality.
And spaces where anything is possible.
That's a great way to sum it up.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the world of libraries with you.
I've loved it.
I hope everyone listening feels inspired to check out their local library,
Yes.
borrow a book, discover something new, maybe even get involved in supporting these incredible institutions.
Because in a world that can feel so chaotic, libraries offer us something we all need.
What's that?
Hope, knowledge,
Yeah,
and a sense of connection.
beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.